want to talk about something that I've been observing in this present post-pandemic experience, that there is so much uncertainty. I was looking at the fact that I think Starbucks is laying off thousands of workers. McDonald's is laying off thousands of workers. And one of the things that when you listen to the press release closely, McDonald's, I think, was laying off 11,000 workers, but yet they were opening 2,000 new sites. You see, now, how can that be? What is that all about? And I think what is happening is technology is transforming the world. So how can you open more sites with fewer people? And if you've been into a McDonald's lately, you have the machines now that you order, before you even go to the counter. So the counters where, let's just say 5 years ago, when you went into a McDonald's, they would have maybe 3 people at the registers, 3 registers in line, 2 or 3 lines, so that people could be served. Now there's 1 person. And I wanted to pick this topic because what is happening and what will be happening over the next few years, artificial intelligence, more corporate greed, the idea of how to create more profit by reducing wages and reducing staff, it's going to impact many of us. And for our people, it's going to impact us greater. I was yesterday in front of my home, they were repairing the sidewalk, and they had at least 30 people. I counted 30. And they were, one group was cutting the sidewalk and another group was coming in to break the cement up, and then the crane operator. And so at least 30 people, and not 1 person of color, not a single Black person working out there, not a single young man. And there were a lot of them are young people, and clearly laborers. I mean, the guys cracking the sidewalk were laborers, so it was not necessarily a thing of expertise, but it was saying that the job market is drying up in the way we know it. And in order for us to maintain ourselves and maintain our families, we are being forced to become entrepreneurs. Jobs don't offer security anymore. Even if you have a job, somehow this corporate paradigm has said that, and they make it sound good. People should choose what they want to do. They should plan for their future. But America was based on people working almost a corporate contract, with people working for a certain amount of time to get a pension. Many times in state governments, you were paid less than the market rate because you were assured of a pension. This shift has changed America. When Lee Iacocca was running, I think, Chrysler as a CEO, and Chrysler was one of the biggest car manufacturers, his salary was $1 million a year, and that was big stuff. In other words, the CEO made roughly 50 times what you might say your average executive made. Now, a CEO that only makes $1 million a year is nothing. That now the average CEO salary, and this is a guesstimation, but is at least $8 million a year. You have top guys making $100 million a year, $80 million a year. And so you have to wonder, where did that money come from? That money came from people cutting costs, keeping the wages down. People are still arguing over the hourly rate, where you have an hourly rate that if you work for it, you need 3 jobs to take care of your family when you match up your expenses and your income. So this entrepreneurship piece, many of us are going to have to figure out ways to make money outside of the system, outside of the job environment, for survival. It's not even like I want to become an entrepreneur to get rich. It's about I need to become an entrepreneur to survive. And so I want to look at some of the soft side, some of the soft skills of the entrepreneur, because I think that right now, each and every one of you has the capacity to develop these skills to the point where you can become more effective in plotting the future for yourself and your family. The first key to this becoming an entrepreneur is to recognize that entrepreneurship is personal development in action. Your level of success as an entrepreneur depends directly on your level of understanding of yourself, your level of consciousness of yourself, your level of development of yourself. So whatever business you go into, you always bring yourself to the party. Two people can go to the same party, and one says it's a great, incredible party, super people, super music, and the person standing right next to him says it's a terrible party. The people are stuck up, and I hate the music. So in this context now, when you decide that you need to be in business for yourself, recognize that it is personal development in action, that any of the shortcomings, any negative thinking that you have will carry over into the business and undermine it. Any negative emotions that you have will carry over to the business and undermine it. Any bad habits that you have will carry over to the business and undermine it. Any negative relationships will carry over to the business and undermine it. So the first key, and you all on this call are already working on this because you all have been doing personal development for years. And so to recognize that to be an entrepreneur, you need to develop those thoughts, those emotions, those habits, and those relationships that will bring you personal success, because that personal success can be translated into business success. Tip number 2. In entrepreneurship, as an entrepreneur, there's one emotion that can destroy your potential. If you have a fear of rejection, you will fail. The golden bridge to success as an entrepreneur is to overcome the impact of rejection. You see, on a job, you may have a little rejection, but on a job, you know that if you do whatever is necessary to keep that job, that the company will pay you just enough to keep you from quitting. And you can proceed along in this sort of level of mediocrity for the rest of your life. But when you go into a business, if you have a fear of rejection, if you can't hear no and keep going, that's going to be a problem. You see, everybody's not cut out to be an entrepreneur. And one of the main reasons is because we may not have that level of personal development that can give us the strength to overcome rejection. Every business, when you look at, I'm a network marketer and sort of semi-retired, but success in this business and any other business comes from your ability to hear no and keep going. The key to success is how to accept no's to get to the yes. One of the things that, you all have visited our website before, and one of the programs that we've really been working on for entrepreneurs, for people getting ready to make that transformation, we have our success toolbox. And, our website, of course, is herbertharris.com. But one of the goals of the success toolbox is to help you assess your situation so that you can make those changes in your thinking, your emotions, your habits, and your relationships, so that you have a better chance of succeeding in business for yourself. If you don't master these things, you'll stay stuck in just a hand-to-mouth existence. Just because you're in business for yourself doesn't mean you're making a profit. You may be making just enough money to stay in business and not grow. So learning how to handle rejection is key. Develop that water off the duck attitude. Know that when a person tells you no, it's not personal. It's just no to whatever your business is. Number 3, you must have a dream, a vision of yourself. Very often people get so involved with fighting alligators that they never drain the swamp. So they spend their entire lives dealing with whatever opposition, whatever challenges appear, rather than saying, I want to go to the promised land. One of my mentors is on the call right now, Reverend Burnett, great minister, great spiritual person. And I know in her message, she talks about the promised land, and that promised land is that thing that you dream of doing, of being, and having. And so if you don't have a dream, your dream becomes your why. So in the past, many of us became entrepreneurs because we thought we wanted to make more money. We thought it gave us a stronger position rather than working for somebody else who's only going to pay us enough to keep us from quitting. But in today's economic inquiry environment, it's not about choosing. It's like you have no alternative than to become an entrepreneur. I lived through the era of segregation. In those days, white people didn't want anything at all from black people. They didn't want black bodies. They didn't want black dollars. And so black people had to develop their own economy. So when I was a child, the ambulance, the undertaker served as an ambulance. Okay, the undertaker, the carpenters were black, the electricians were black, the contractors were black. Everything worked within that economy. And so we have to begin to have our own dream. And that dream becomes your why. And that why now is it's necessary to be an entrepreneur to take care of you and your family in a style that's comfortable for all. Tip number 4. Whatever your vision is, whatever your vision of the life that you would like to live, it must be translated into goals. You know, the scripture says, where there's no vision, the people perish. And what perish means is that they don't fulfill the purpose for which they were created. So in life, if you don't have a vision, your promised land, what you want your life to be in every respect, if you don't convert that vision into goals are step-by-step activities, benchmarks that lead you to your vision, then chances are you will not succeed. The Habakkuk, one of the shortest books in the Bible, says, write the vision, make it plain upon tablets, that he may run that readeth it. Though it may tarry, wait for it, it will surely come to pass. So don't be so involved with appearances. Right now, many of us get so involved with our present condition, what we don't have, that we don't look at our future possibilities, the way our life could be if we made it, if we had a clear vision of the way we want it to be. Step 5, center on your why. Get out of that survival mode. You know, so many people get into the survival mode. So what's your purpose in life? My purpose is to make enough money to keep living. My purpose is to feed me and my family. No, center on your why from the bigger picture. The life that you want to create for you and your family. Not just center on it, but feel it with all your heart, feel it with all your mind, feel it with all your soul. If you don't feel the success that you're seeking, it will not happen. So many of us, if we have not achieved what we desire, what we say we desire in our lives, do that. First, you need to go in and get our success toolbox, because there's a section in there called the New You home study course. So if you're not getting the success you need right now, get into that course and assess where you are. Look at yourself, look at the things you're doing and having and saying, you know what, this is not working for me. Look at the changes you have to make in your life. If you don't change things, they will continue to go off. Set new goals for yourself now based on this new level of consciousness, and then have a plan to get it done. If you do not do this, then you will spend the rest of your life riding the river of time wherever it wants you to go. Tip number 6, to realize that all experiences in life are either victories or lessons. Remove the consciousness of failure from your thinking. You never fail, you just learn. Thomas Edison said, once he said that a reporter said, you have failed to identify this filament thing 3,000 times you've tried and it's failed. And Edison said, I've never failed. I have successfully identified 3,000 ways that will not work. And so as you go through this transformation process, recognize that you either win or you have a lesson. The beauty of it is that when you learn from your mistakes, you get better. Tip number 7. And this is one that's going to crawl you a little bit. Your why must be bigger than money. If your why is not bigger than money, then you've limited yourself, limited your possibilities. Your why must be, how much value can I add to the world? You see, when you come from a perspective of value, it's not just what you get. You've created a value proposition. Your success now varies directly with the impact you have on the world, the good you have on the world, the powerful stuff you bring to the world. You look at Steve Jobs. Yeah, I remember when the first Apple computer, what do they call it? The Mac. Ali Yassin was the first person that I ever saw that bought a Mac. Okay, we were still buying our computers from Radio Shack. And when we saw the Mac, I mean, it was amazing. Radio Shack computers were like, like big, high-powered calculating machines, wherein the Mac had the ability to do graphics and create pictures. So Steve Jobs, he became a billionaire, but that was not his goal. His goal was to help people create a more profound expression of their ideas. And with that big why, he changed the world. Tip number 8. If you become an entrepreneur, you must develop a way to stay in the game. I worked for Time Magazine once, and when Time Magazine was setting up, developing People Magazine, they allocated enough money to run the magazine for 4 years without making a profit. Now, it turned out they made a profit in less than 2. So when you become an entrepreneur, don't let the excitement of the potential and the possibilities take you away from the reality of your life. You need to make money. You need to have enough resources to get you and your family through in that period. See, entrepreneurship has its own cycle. If you're a farmer entrepreneur and you plant corn, you can't feed your family after 2 weeks. The cycle for corn is like 60 to 90 days. And so when you look at the business you're in, look at the cycles so that you can put yourself in a position where you have enough resources to stay in the game. And then tip number 9, your level of commitment, your level of faith, your level of passion determines your level of success. It really has nothing to do with your race, has nothing to do with how you look, but the level of your faith and the level of your passion determines the level of your success. So whatever your promised land is, see it clearly so you can feel it, you can touch it, you can smell it. Know exactly how it moves, know exactly all those things about it so that you can feel it, because it is through your feeling nature that you create the vibration that attracts what you want into your life. So let me summarize and quickly review. If you, and let's not say if you, that right now, the culture and the society in which we live demands that we become entrepreneurs and take into our hands the facilities and the capacity to earn, to do, and to be. And the keys are the tips to help you make this transition from working from someone else to becoming your own master. Number 1, realize that entrepreneurship is personal development in action. The more you can be, the better you become. The more you become, the more successful you will be. Number 2, get over the fear of rejection. Rejection is a critical part of entrepreneurship because rejection helps you get better and grow. Number 3, you must have a dream. You must have a vision of your promised land, exactly the way you want your life to look. Number 4, you must translate your vision into goals, step-by-step activities that will lead you to the vision you have of yourself. Number 5, center on your why, center on the promised land. When we go through the Old Testament especially, everything is about getting to the promised land. When the children of Israel came out of Egypt, the goal was to get to the promised land. So center on your why, believe in it, feel it in your heart, in your mind, and in your soul. Tip 6, to realize that all experiences in life are either victories or lessons. And tip 7, your why should be bigger than money. Money is just a tool. Your why is based on value. Value you add to the world. Value you add to yourself. Tip number 8, develop a way to stay in the game. Means you have to understand finances and budgeting and how to make those things work for you to give you an opportunity to deal with the cycles of success. And then number 9, your level of faith, your level of passion, your level of desire determines the level of your success. And so, in conclusion, each of you, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I think every day when you hear a message, there's something in it that may resonate with you. And I recommend that you listen to this time and time again. There's some good points in it I think that can help you. I invite you to visit our website. You know, someone once said, anytime you speak, to always have an offer, something that can help people in their progress along the way. So I invite you to go to our website, herbertharris.com. And I invite you to look at the success toolbox. And the reason is because in making this transfer from employee to entrepreneur, let me just give you a quick rundown, some of the things that can help you. You have, of course, many of you already have the book, but you have the ebook as a part of the toolbox. You also have a workbook. And the value of a workbook, you know that idea, write the vision, make it plain. When you can take the ideas and write them down, it strengthens your capacity to understand. It has the audio book, over 6 hours of recorded information so that you continuously feed your mind to help you make this transformation. It has the New You Home Study course, which helps you really look at where you are until you assess where you are and face the facts, until you address the things that need to be changed in your life, until you set new goals congruent with the new vision, and until you take action, it does not happen. So the New Year Home Study course shows you how to put that in action. And then there are a number of other goodies that go along with it. There's a workbook that goes with the home study course, some audios, the law of command to help you speak your world into existence, to help you create the new you, to create the entrepreneur that you must become. So be sure to go to our website, www.herbertharris.com, and you'll see a tab for Success Toolbox. We have a special for this group, a special for this period right now. It's a $47, usually it's $77, but a $47 package. But get everything you need to help you get anything you want. Remember this, that when you can see your promised land in great detail, feel it in your heart and feel it in your spirit, then you can truly be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.